What started as a routine congressional hearing turned into a fiery clash when Senator John Kennedy confronted Congressman Adam Schiff head-on. The explosive exchange left Representative Jasmine Crockett visibly disturbed as Schiff lost his composure in front of a live audience. Here's the full behind-the-scenes story of what really happened. Keywords: John Kennedy confronts Adam Schiff. Jasmine Crockett reaction. Capitol Hill drama. Political showdown. Schiff loses temper. Explosive congressional hearing. Full story approx. 2,000 words. It was supposed to be another standard session on Capitol Hill, a procedural hearing surrounding the Department of Justice's recent transparency issues. But no one expected it to become the battleground for one of the most heated political confrontations of the year. The room was tense before it even began. Cameras were being positioned, reporters whispered to one another, and congressional aides shuffled notes and statements, nervously anticipating what could become a contentious debate. But no one, not even seasoned political veterans, could have predicted what was about to unfold between Senator John Kennedy, Representative Adam Schiff, and the unexpected emotional center of the story, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. The calm before the storm. Senator Kennedy, known for his folksy but sharp rhetorical style, walked into the hearing room that morning with a quiet sense of purpose. He had spent the previous night reviewing transcripts, examining Schiff's past statements, and identifying inconsistencies that had long frustrated him and many conservatives in Congress. To Kennedy, this wasn't just political theater, it was a reckoning. Adam Schiff, seated confidently and already engaged in sidebar conversations with fellow Democrats, seemed unbothered. Known for his cool demeanor and prosecutorial tone, Schiff had weathered countless attacks over the years, particularly from his leadership in the Trump impeachment proceedings. But today would test even his famously composed temperament. At the table, Representative Jasmine Crockett, a rising star in the Democratic Party, took her seat with the kind of poise that belied the storm brewing just behind her eyes. As a relatively new member of Congress, she had earned respect for her eloquence and measured responses. Today, she expected heated exchanges, but she was not prepared for the emotional volatility she was about to witness. The opening shots. The hearing commenced with opening statements. Schiff wasted no time positioning the Democratic stance, calls for increased protections for whistleblowers, critiques of Republican attacks on the DOJ, and a stern reminder about the importance of truth in public office. But Kennedy was waiting, and when it came time for his opening remarks, he wasted no time either. Greater than Congressman Schiff, Kennedy began, "You've made a career out of shaping narratives. But narratives aren't facts, and storytelling isn't evidence." There were murmurs in the room. Schiff smiled slightly, perhaps assuming this was just another jab, until Kennedy pressed further. "Greater than, you've stood on the House floor and claimed to have seen direct evidence of collusion, evidence you never produced. The American people deserve to know, was that evidence real, or was it just a political ghost story you sold to the media?" The hearing room fell silent. Schiff's jaw tightened. He responded curtly. "Greater than, Senator Kennedy, I think we're all aware of the investigations that occurred, and I won't allow you to rewrite history here for the sake of partisan spectacle." Kennedy didn't back down. "Greater than, I'm not rewriting history, Congressman, I'm holding you accountable to it." The moment Adam Schiff snapped. As the exchange continued, what began as a verbal sparring match turned into a full-blown confrontation. Kennedy brought up Schiff's now infamous readings of the Trump-Zelensky call during the impeachment hearings, characterizations many conservatives had deemed misleading. "Greater than, you read a fictionalized version of a transcript to the American people as if it were fact," Kennedy declared. "That's not oversight, that's deception." That's when Schiff snapped. In a moment rarely seen from the normally stoic congressman, his voice rose. "Greater than, I will not be lectured by someone who ignores the facts and cherry-picks quotes to protect political allies. I've stood for the Constitution while your party has tried to shred it." Jasmine Crockett flinched. Her eyes widened as Schiff leaned forward, pointing at Kennedy with unrestrained emotion. It was clear to everyone, he had lost his composure. Jasmine Crockett's disturbed reaction. Crockett, who had been calmly observing until then, was visibly shaken. She turned to one of her aides and whispered something inaudible, her face displaying a mix of concern and disbelief. Later, she would tell reporters. "Greater than, that was one of the most unprofessional displays I've ever witnessed in a public hearing. Passion is one thing, but that was personal, and personal doesn't belong in these chambers." Her comments echoed what many were thinking. Schiff had let Kennedy get under his skin. And the outburst had not only undermined his credibility but also disrupted the Democrats' unified front. Even some of Schiff's fellow Democrats appeared stunned. A few shifted uncomfortably in their chairs. Others avoided eye contact entirely. The aftermath. As the hearing ended, the room buzzed with stunned silence. Reporters raced to their laptops. Headlines were already being drafted. Schiff loses temper on Capitol Hill, Kennedy's confrontation sparks congressional chaos, and Crockett disturbed by Schiff's outburst. Outside the chamber, Schiff attempted damage control. He told reporters, "Greater than, when you're accused of misleading the public, it's hard not to defend your integrity with passion. I stand by everything I've said and everything I've fought for. But the damage was done." Political commentators across both sides of the aisle began dissecting the incident. Some praised Kennedy for his calm yet piercing delivery. Others criticized Schiff for letting emotion override logic. And Crockett, she became the reluctant centerpiece of empathy in the chaos. A trending hashtag emerged, #CrockettSawitl, symbolizing the shared reaction of millions of viewers who identified with her stunned and disturbed expression. What it means politically. The confrontation had ripple effects far beyond that day. Adam Schiff, once viewed as unshakable, now faced scrutiny from even moderate Democrats. John Kennedy, already a media favorite for his blunt commentary, was lauded by conservatives for holding Schiff accountable. Jasmine Crockett, unexpectedly, emerged with newfound bipartisan respect. Her reaction was seen as authentic, human, and representative of what many Americans felt watching the drama unfold. Political strategists noted that Schiff's outburst could impact his aspirations for higher office or committee leadership. The emotional volatility displayed, especially in front of someone like Crockett, known for grace under pressure, was seen as a critical misstep. The bigger picture. Beyond the politics, the hearing underscored a troubling trend in American governance, the blurring line between justice and theater, truth and narrative, passion and professionalism. Jasmine Crockett's disturbed reaction was not just to Schiff's outburst, but to what it symbolized. The erosion of respectful discourse. The triumph of ego over facts. The spectacle overtaking the seriousness of duty. In an interview days later, Crockett summarized it best. "Greater than, we don't need more yelling. We need more listening, more truth, more honesty." That hearing was a wake-up call, for all of us. Conclusion. The confrontation between John Kennedy and Adam Schiff wasn't just a moment of political drama, it was a reflection of deeper divisions and emotional fatigue within Congress. And in the center of it all, Jasmine Crockett became the symbol of reason, restraint, and reflection. As the dust settles, Americans are left to wonder, will this be a turning point toward civility and accountability? Or just another viral clash in an increasingly fractured political landscape?